Man United 2, Aston Villa 1. Aston Villa lose their first game of 2021 and their first game in a very good undefeated run in December. And overall, I'm disappointed. I'm disappointed. I also find it a little bit rubbish, that performance. Um, no, I'm just bitter. I'm just disappointed because I really think we should have came out with a point at least. And I thought we really played really well. Unfortunately, it just wasn't our day really. I just didn't think we were up to it. Unfortunately, and I just think some key areas just let us down overall. Um, Obviously, the first goal really came out of nowhere for United. I think we were matching them very well. Although they came out strong in the first 10 minutes, I thought Villa managed to gradually grow into the game. We were starting to match them, but ultimately it came out of nowhere for Man United. Obviously, he came off the Mings header, so you can look at that and say, well, was it Mings' fault this season? I think Mings needs to do better there. I don't think he had a bad game as such, but I think that's just the one area that I'd say really let him down. And then I'd also say I don't know why he's playing, just because I thought House had been doing really well in that role. So I don't understand why he'd be bringing Mings back into it, considering how poor he was in the game that got him sent off. But it is how it is, and we just kept going on and kept having chances here and there. We just wasn't coming off. And then we go into the second half. I think Villa starting off really well, and it did show. We eventually got the goal through Bertrand Traore, who I thought was probably the worst player on the pitch for Villa today, yet again. But he obviously gets the goal, and then literally minutes later, we can see the penalty. That wasn't a penalty. Let's face it, I think Dougie, you could look at it and say, well, his leg pushed into Pogba's, causing him to get mixed up. But ultimately, there's a very soft penalty. Got caught up in himself and tripped himself over, and ultimately, United score a penalty. And I think from there on, it just killed the game for Villa. I just really think the confidence was down after that, and I just think Villa were just trying anything just to try and get up the pitch, and not really trying to play with any skill or any proper football. And ultimately, it just led to our defeat. I just think it's disappointing because the fact we're going to such a well run. We managed to play Chelsea, who were similar to what United were tonight, and we managed to get a draw out of that. But ultimately against United, we didn't. And I just felt like we came to this game, played them, we just felt scared of them. I don't understand what this was scared of. We were matching them on form before this game, and I think really this was probably going to be the toughest game of this next 5 or 6 game period now with Man City being added. And it's just really it just annoyed me to see how worried we were just giving them the opportunities, just letting them have the chances. And overall, I think it came out to buy us, and I think we did really cost it in that sense. But overall, I just think it was we weren't up to it on today. In terms of the players, I thought probably the best player on the pitch for me was going to have to be Cash or Grealish. It's one of them. I thought Cash was doing really well today, and I thought Grealish was obviously running the game. I think Bertrand Traore was, as I said, the worst player on the pitch. It's just he's there for the goals. He's a goal poacher, and to be fair, he did really well with the goal, really calm and composed. But apart from that, he's an absolute shambles of the man. He's letting players go, and you can see Cash pointing, telling you're meant to go over there, you're meant to be marking that man, and he's letting Luke Shaw run alongside him, just giving the free space. It's just annoying to see that. You know what I mean? You could say, well, maybe that's giving them the opportunities, and ultimately, if they'd taken those chances, we'd be saying it. Bertrand Traore has been poor. Mings, I didn't think had a bad performance there. I thought he was alright, but ultimately for me, I don't understand why he's playing. Why would you take out House, who's been really good, and bring him back in? And then obviously Conte was limping at the end during the one corner. So is there struggle that now he's going to be injured, and now we're now going to be losing our best centre half and playing House where you could have just stuck. I thought Martinez did really well in goal. I thought Tiger was okay. I thought McGinn was having a bit of a shocker in the first 10-20 minutes, but I thought overall he came into it and was alright in the end. I thought Dougie was having a bit of a poor game. And Ollie Watkins just isn't getting service, but he's not really finding the back of the net anyway. And I thought El Ghazi really just wasn't adding much, although he could have scored a goal at some points. It just really was coming off for him. But I think it's really overall, it just wasn't meant to be for Villa. I think adding on Jacob Ramsey didn't really offer us anything, although he's such a good talent. Quite frankly, it just didn't have any impact on the game. I thought Keenan Davis, although it's the right move, I think it really showed we need either perhaps another investment in a striker or an actual winger with pace, Alan St. Maximan. Or Josh King even. Josh King would be a really good choice watching that game just because of the variety of options on the bench. But overall, it's just really disappointing to see. I thought the referee was shocking. I don't know what he's doing. just practically giving United free passes around. But overall, just a really disappointing game. We obviously go on to Liverpool next in the FA Cup. I'm just going, you know what I mean? With that result, it feels like now we are setting the mid-table. And we are going to be out for 9th. It's disappointing because you see how high we are and how well we play. It makes you want to think the best, and we are thinking the best right now. We're thinking we can get that top 6, but when you play and get a result like that, you know, it's really deflating. But as I said, we go on to Liverpool next, then it's Tottenham and Everton, and then Man City's now been added, so it's going to be a really tough set of games. But as long as Villa can, I say go through to Liverpool. I don't know what team Liverpool are going to put out. It's as I said, I'd rather care about a good place finish in the Premier League rather than an FA Cup or a trophy final. But it'd be nice to see us go there. So for me, we'll see how the FA Cup goes, but I'd like to think that overall, I think at Tottenham we can get a win. They're falling out of form. And then obviously Everton's going to be a little bit of a tough game, but we can capture on the bounce there. So yeah, that's been my instant reaction to Man United 2, Aston Villa 1. Tell us in the comments down below what you thought. A really disappointing one to take. But we go again, and hopefully Villa can get the job done at Tottenham on the Liverpool. Without further ado, I've been Ben, up the Villa, probably Villa.